Manhattan never sleeps, and neither did Elena Vargas that night. Somewhere in the glittering skyline, someone was watching her future burn, and she didn't even know it yet. She thought she had control. She thought loyalty meant safety. But in a city where ambition was currency and trust was a liability, Elena would learn the hard way. Every secret has a cost. Elena adjusted the cuff of her black silk dress and smoothed the fabric over her hips. Her pulse skipped as she walked into the annual Apex Global Gala. The chandeliers reflected off the marble floors, scattering golden light across the sea of tailored suits and polished heels. Champagne bubbles tickled her nose, and the air smelled of power, ambition, and a hint of danger. She had fought for this moment 5 years of sleepless nights, polished reports, and awkward lunches with executives who only saw her as ambitious, not human. Tonight, she would celebrate. Tonight, she was untouchable. Then her phone buzzed. A single email, anonymous. They know about the merger. Stop it, or we all burn. Ah. Her fingers trembled as she opened the attachment. Inside, a leaked memo detailed Apex's plan to sabotage a rival merger. It wasn't just corporate strategy. It was a weapon. And suddenly, Elena's carefully built world felt like it was collapsing. She scanned the gala room. Somewhere, laughter floated over polished marble floors. But Elena felt the walls close in. She wasn't at a gala anymore. She was in the eye of a storm. Her thoughts spiraled. Who knew? Was this a warning? A threat or an invitation? The next morning, the Manhattan skyline seemed colder, sharper, like it was judging her. She rode the elevator to the 47th floor, rehearsing calm words for Marcus Hale, her mentor, her friend, the man who had always seemed untouchable. Marcus met her eyes as she entered his office. The sunlight glinted off his cufflinks like tiny warning signs. "Elena joined me," he said, voice smooth as aged whiskey. Inside, the leather chair creaked as he leaned back. "Heard about the gala," he said lightly. "You looked stunning." The words lingered, warm, dangerous. Elena felt her resolve flicker. Before she could respond, Jordan Reyes entered rolled-up sleeves, easy grin, the kind of presence that made the room feel safer. A quiet defiance that didn't belong in this world of glass and greed. "Elena," he said softly. Their eyes met, and in that moment, she felt a spark of question without words, a connection she hadn't allowed herself in years. Marcus gestured. "We've got a problem with the Sterling merger. Leaks everywhere. Elena, you're on point, find the source." Elena swallowed hard. The email, was this a trap? Jordan's hand brushed hers briefly under the table, a fleeting reassurance that felt heavier than words. She felt heat rush through her, a whisper of something she didn't dare name. Later that day, as she worked late, Marcus leaned over her desk. His colon smoky refined wafted over her. "You're indispensable, Elena. No one else I trust like you." Her stomach tightened. Was it admiration? Manipulation? Desire? Days blurred. She traced encrypted files, dodged whispered questions, and sat through boardroom meetings where every smile could hide a knife. Marcus's office became a second home. Late nights, scotch poured, laughter that tasted like betrayal. He leaned close, and she could almost believe he was on her side. Almost. "You're the only one I trust, Elena. One day, we could run this place together," he murmured, gaze lingering. His fingers brushed her hand accidentally. Over the papers a spark that shouldn't exist. But then Jordan appeared unexpectedly. His presence was grounding, real. His gaze met hers across the conference table. A silent question. "Do you remember who you are?" Romance wasn't supposed to happen here. Love was a liability. And yet, stolen glances, fleeting touches, quiet reassurances became the only light in a building full of shadows. It happened in the stairwell, late at night. Only the hum of the elevator and the faint echo of their footsteps. Jordan caught her by the elbow. His hand was firm, grounding, safe. "He's using you," he said softly. "I've seen the memos. When this explodes, you'll be the one he sacrifices." For a heartbeat, she imagined running into his arms, letting everything else vanish. She imagined escaping the chaos of Apex, the manipulations, and Marcus's dangerous allure, and finding something real with Jordan. His thumb brushed hers, a silent promise. Her heart raced, but she shook her head. She couldn't give in, not yet. Not while the storm was still raging. Back at her desk, she smiled at Marcus, nodded at board meetings, pretended everything was normal. But the nights were different. The files she uncovered whispered secrets of betrayal. Offshore accounts, fake documents. Each discovery twisted her gut. Marcus called one evening. His voice was low, intimate, a kind that made her pulse quicken. "You're the only one I trust. Elena, we could rule this empire together. Just say yes." Power dressed as love. And for a moment, she almost believed him. Almost. But Jordan's warning echoed. "He'll burn you too." The hidden burner phone in Marcus's desk was proof. Calls, secret accounts, plans to ruin competitors was all there. Elena's hands shook as she dialed Jordan. They met on the rooftop that night. The city stretched endlessly behind them, lights twinkling like fragile stars. "You can do this," he said, voice steady. And she realized it wasn't just the documents he believed in her. They planned together, quietly, dangerously. Every glance at Marcus could be their last free moment. Her hand brushed against his. She felt the warmth, the promise of safety. A forbidden intimacy she had almost forgotten. When the night came, Elena was ready. Marcus stepped into her office, framed by the skyline, and moved close. His lips brushed her temple, a move that was part seduction, part threat. "Join me, Elena, or get left behind," he whispered. She pulled back, shaking. She wasn't a pawn. Not anymore. The next morning, the boardroom was silent. Executives whispered. Screens glowed. Elena stepped forward, Jordan at her side. Files projected across the monitors. Every offshore account, every fake memo, every deceitful strategy. Gasps echoed. Marcus's composure cracked. "You chose him," he whispered, disbelief mingling with hurt. The FBI agents entered, papers scattered like ash in the wind. Jordan pulled her into a hug, grounding her. "I couldn't let you drown in his lies," he said. And for the first time, she exhaled. Months later, Apex was gone. The towers still stood, but the empire had fallen silent. Elena moved into a small Brooklyn apartment, peaceful, honest, quiet. The slow hum of the city was no longer suffocating. Jordan stayed not as a savior, but as a partner. Their romance bloomed slowly, subtly. Late-night cooking, soft touches, shared laughs, whispered secrets. Nights on the balcony, city lights sparkling, and fingers intertwined, a quiet intimacy built on trust, not manipulation. Then, one morning, an email appeared in her spam folder. "The game's not over. Watch your back." She stared at it, the skyline outside her window shimmering with cold light. Manhattan had built her, tested her, almost destroyed her. And yet, somewhere in the distance, she could hear Marcus's voice, smooth and haunting, because Manhattan never sleeps, and ambition, like desire, never truly dies. Elena's story wasn't just about corporate betrayal. It was about survival, choices, and the cost of secrets. Love had appeared in unlikely places. Loyalty had been tested. And she had learned that freedom comes at a price. The city below continued to pulse with ambition, greed, and desire. Elena knew she had escaped one empire, but Manhattan had a way of keeping its lessons close and its shadows closer. And somewhere in those shadows, the game was still being played. ... Because in Manhattan, ambition never truly sleeps, and some echoes never fade.